The Minnesota Vikings are frauds. Vikings are currently 12-3 and have clinched the NFC North, but their record doesn't display their team's strength. Now, before all you unshowered keyboard demons rush to the comment section to unleash your deep hatred that was instilled to you when your dad left for the second time, just chill out, man, alright? It's gonna be alright. Yes, there is still a chance the Vikings win their playoff games, make it to the Super Bowl, and maybe even win the Super Bowl. But when you look at a 12-3 team, you usually think that they have a great chance to get to the Super Bowl, win their playoff games, that they're probably gonna be the favored team. I'm saying the 12-3 Vikings feel more like a 9-6 team. And again, just to reiterate, I'm not saying the Vikings suck or that they're gonna lose. The Vikings are a good team. I mean, they have Dalvin, Cook, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. The main problem I have with the Vikings, and this is the main reason I believe them to be frauds, is that they got blown out by the Dallas Cowboys 40-3 at home. These are the top 8 teams record-wise currently in the NFL. And the Vikings are in a 3-way tie for the second best record with the Chiefs and the Bills. Now, one thing that separates the Vikings from a team like the Chiefs or the Bills or pretty much any team on the screen right now is that they aren't getting blown out by the Cowboys 40-3 at home. Like, you aren't going to see the Bengals come into Arrowhead and blow the Chiefs out by 40 points and the Chiefs only put up 3 points against the Bengals. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it's not going to happen to any of these teams except the Vikings. Another thing I want to look at is strength of schedule. Just about 1/3, 6 of the 15 games the Vikings have played this season are against playoff teams, meaning that if the season ended today, 6 of the teams the Vikings played this season would be in the playoffs. And about another third, 4 out of 15 of the games have been against teams that are currently in the hunt to make it into the playoffs. In the last third, or other 5 of the games, are against teams that are totally eliminated from the playoffs. So out of the 15 teams the Vikings have played this season, it's fairly distributed. They have about a third in the playoffs, a third out of the playoffs, and a third in the middle. The big problem that this shows is that the Vikings are barely beating the teams that are totally eliminated from the playoffs. The Vikings barely beat the Saints, who are 6-9. The Vikings barely beat the Bears, who are 3-12 this season, and the Vikings play them again next week. I would not be surprised if the Vikings lose. The Vikings also only beat the Cardinals by 8, who are 4-11 this season. And lastly, the Vikings barely beat the Colts, who also are a 4-win team. Now, this might be partly because the Vikings have the 28th worst defense in the league, averaging more than 24 points a game allowed. If you're going to pick the Vikings to win in the playoffs, you're going to want to pray to God that the Vikings offense doesn't collapse like they did in the Dallas game and the first half of the Colts game, because playing with a bottom 5 tier defense won't be easy in the playoffs against teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, pretty much any team. It's just bad. Now, this brings us to the next thing, and I think everyone's already heard about this year, is that the Vikings only have a 5-point differential this season. I mean, that's unheard of from a 12-3 team. I mean, the Bills have a 157-point differential, and the Vikings only have 5, and they have the same record. I mean, just listen to this. The Buffalo Bills are plus 157. The 49ers are plus 145. The Cowboys are plus 145. The Eagles are plus 137. The Kansas City Chiefs are plus 106. The Bengals are plus 85. The Ravens are plus 49. I mean, even the Jaguars have a higher differential than the Vikings, as they're plus 22. I mean, what the hell? My last point is the Vikings have been extremely lucky this season, and I don't think any Vikings fan can argue otherwise. First look the Vikings ran into the season is in week 3 against the Lions. The Lions had a 10-point lead with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter as Dalvin Cook powered his way into the end zone to drop the Lions' lead to just 3. Now, the Lions did run off a good amount of time, but on 3rd and 7 were stopped just a yard short. And instead of kicking a 45-yard field goal that would have been easily makeable, the Lions went for it on 4th and 1 and failed. This is just pain for me because I'm a Lions fan, and I'm totally not still salty about I'm not salty about that game still. No way I am. The Lions defense actually stopped the Vikings, which was unheard of at the beginning of the Lions season, but on 4th and 4, the Lions went for a field goal, and their kicker wasn't very good and had been struggling already. And I don't know why the Lions didn't go for it again, because they went for it on the possession before, and they could have sealed the game. Then Kirk found the end zone on a defensive clap, and that's that. The Vikings should have lost this game, but with poor clock management from the Lions and poor decision makings and poor play calling, they won.
Given time, he wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson pulled it in.
Phillip.
Hey, alert it.
Zero breathing room. He tries to sneak it. The ball is loose. Impossible. Do the Vikings have it? scrambled for the ball. It is a touchdown on their last breath. 2nd and 10. Allen steps up and throws an interception. Patrick Peterson. And in this heavyweight bout,
I mean, I don't think I really need to say anything about this. Justin Jefferson has an insane catch, one of the best catches of all time to save the game. I mean, what the hell? And then Josh Allen fumbles at the 1 yard line and the Vikings recover it and score. And then Josh Allen throws an end zone interception when there's time left. They could have kicked a field goal. It's still 2nd and 10. He had men open down the field that didn't need to be in the end zone. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I think Allen finds the end zone here a few plays later and the Vikings lose. And the last bit of luck the Vikings got this season is that they were down 33-0 against the Colts with 10 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter and came back and won. I mean, first off, coming back from 33-0 is unheard of. And I mean, it literally was. This is the biggest comeback in NFL history. And also Matt Ryan, bro. The Colts, I mean, I already made a video on this, but how do you choke 33-0? 33-0, how do you choke that? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Looking at the playoff picture here, the Eagles are probably going to get the bye, and the Vikings are either going to have to play the Giants, the Commanders, maybe the Lions if they get in. Please, I pray, please let the Lions in, or maybe the Packers if the Packers get in. They're probably going to have to play one of those 4 teams, and I don't think the Vikings have a sure shot at winning any of those 4 games. I think they could all go either way. In the end, I don't think the Vikings are as good as their record portrays, but I still think they are a playoff team. Lastly, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but sometimes am, I would not pick the Vikings in the playoffs because I think there's just too many opportunities for them to lose and so many better teams. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed my content, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And once again, thanks for watching.